You know, professors and comedians maybe don't have much in common, but here is something that they accomplished together. They made net neutrality into a story so big, so important, that President Obama supported it this week. The father of net neutrality is here with me in the studio. But first, what is net neutrality? We need to sum it up here in one sentence. Net neutrality is the notion that all content on the internet, all the articles and videos and sites, they should all be treated equally or neutrally, so big companies don't get to take advantage of fast lanes and startups don't get stuck in slow lanes. There we go, one sentence. So that's the way the web works now, and advocates like Obama want to keep it that way. The debate is about how to keep it that way. It's a debate that has never gotten all that much attention from the mainstream news media, but it has gotten a lot of attention from the men who make fun of the news. This is a remarkable poll I want you to see. It's from the University of Delaware. It shows that regular John Oliver, Jon Stewart, and Stephen Colbert watchers are a lot more familiar with net neutrality than newspaper readers or cable news watchers. Their jokes have sometimes been, I don't know, downright journalistic. Watch.
Net neutrality. The only two words that promise more boredom in the English language are featuring Sting. But here's the thing. Net neutrality is actually hugely important.
Every site on the internet has to be equally accessible to the user, whether it be a huge behemoth like Google or some obscure little mom and pop site like Bing. But folks, this recent court ruling ends all of that.
It's kind of like creating a carpool lane on the internet, except instead of high occupancy vehicles, only rich ass will be able to drive in it.
So we're sitting here laughing. Let me bring in Tim Wu. He's the Columbia law professor who coined the term net neutrality back in 2002. Tim, how much credit should these comedians get for taking the ball that you created and running it down the field all the way to the point where President Obama has now come out on this?
I give them a lot of credit, honestly. I mean, obviously got to give some credit to voters and consumers who cared about this, but they put the issue kind of out there by making it hilarious, something that's really hard to explain, and just kind of making it funny. And
John Oliver, in particular, called on his viewers on HBO to write to the FCC, to publish comments. How many comments ended up coming in?
You know, a big event is usually 100 comments. They got 4 million comments, and it swamped the entire system.
How many of those would you attribute to Oliver?
You know, maybe... It's hard to say, but these things have snowballed, so maybe at least 1 million. I mean, it's hard to say exactly.
Well, the servers of the SEC did crash because of Oliver, so we know he had that kind of impact.
Yeah, I mean, no one knows exactly how much, but just snowballed, and he really started something. Look, I mean, I like to think that our fascinating speeches make a difference, but sometimes comedians are more effective.
I think the point is that both make a difference, but with Oliver, it's a reminder that he's doing what's kind of investigative comedy, as some people have called it. He actually is covering important issues, but making fun of it, too.
Yeah, no, I agree, and he really got deeply into net neutrality, in particular in a way others hadn't yet. I mean, most of the jokes have been just this is boring or something, but he really got into it, Colbert too, and I think it really made a difference. People are like, what is going on?
Tim Wu, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure.